Hello, welcome back. This is CappingTV. We are going to be doing a change of plans, but we are casting something tonight for you guys. Tonight we have another very special game. This is ozfortress Intermediate Season 44 Spring 2025 Upper Bracket Finals. So this is the third to last match in the second to highest div for ozfortress. Tonight we have Breed Gaming versus Pipe City. And we will just run through the rosters real quick. So for Breed Gaming, we have Sexy Turtle on Combo Scout, Juna on Flank Scout. We've got Xando and Maddie as the Soldier duo, Snow as Demoman, and JV as Medic. And I believe Snow is known most as Funk for those of you watching. Is there anyone that stands out to you guys? I guess I played in this div, so maybe I can talk about it if you guys don't have any particular
Drop your
points.
truth, please, Corbt. I just want to note that Sexy Turtle's a really funny alias. That's
true. Yeah. I mean, I played against these guys. Funk is a menace on Demoman. Sexy Turtle gets some insane logs, that's for sure. And then these soldiers are so good. So difficult to play against. Probably could be playing in high if they wanted to. Maddie is, I think, rank 3 Demoman. I don't know if he's lost it again, but, you know, one of the best jumpers out there. Xando and Maddie are just a formidable soldier duo. And this certainly is one of the best teams, if not the best team in Inter, but that's what we will be deciding tonight, guys. JV on Medic as well is no slouch. I don't know if he's played Prem, but he could be playing Prem. He's restricted to Medic in this division as well. So very, very experienced player there. This is, yeah, I mean, we played against them. We got destroyed on Koth at least. So this is a very good roster, but we will go now to Pipe City, I believe. So we have Fluoro on Combo Scout, Ranger on Flank Scout, Soap, Industrial Soap on Roma. Archie, I believe it will be Merking on Pocket Soldier. I can't remember who the original Pocket is, but it will be Archie tonight. We have Sway Sway on Demo and Peep on Medic. Maybe some names that you guys might know here.
I remember playing with Fleur. He's pretty decent. He's played like probably a bit of everything. I think it's surprising that they've allowed a Merc. Just you know, I thought the standard was just deny everyone and go from there, right? Like it's unexpected to expect otherwise at this point.
True. We could be going through 19 different soldier images on our screen right now. But we luckily, you know, or maybe unluckily, we have an actual game of Team Fortress on our hands tonight. So thank you to Breed Gaming for not denying anyone. Archie is a pretty reasonable Merc, I would say, for top Inter. Very, very talented player in general. Soldier is not his main, but I'm sure he'll do a stand-up job. For those of you watching last night, you might recognize that name, Archie. He was, I think, all of our MVPs in that main grand finals that we casted last night. But that was yesterday. Today we are playing into upper bracket finals. We have 3 maps tonight, so luckily not a best of 5. We have Product, Gully Wash, and Bagel. Is there sort of anything that you guys are thinking of when you see these 3 maps being played?
Team with the best DM will win. I think I made a note pointing out that Maddie was a jumper main. I always found that playing against jumpers on any class is really difficult because they know how to aim well. And I think that's going to come very in handy on Soldier, especially on Product. You know, it is known as the scout map for good reasons, but soldiers who know how to play the map well, they can cause lots of problems, I reckon. And it's going to be fun too, to be honest. Having a Merc in a final, you know, it's not optimal, but when it happens, you know, someone like Archie, he's a probably a really good pickup. So it'll be interesting, I think.
Yes, hopefully when it happens, indeed. One of 2 matches tonight. We have a 50% success rate for Merking and ozfortress tonight, it seems. But we'll go now to the bracket. So we are in the upper page playoffs, the top left of your screen there. In the lower page, unfortunately, 5 feeders plus Mort were knocked out by Terrible Tactics. Some of you may know Terrible Tactics. They played in high last season. I'm not sure where they finished, but they are all basically off-classing, playing in Inter. Very friendly team, very strong team still, you know, even though they're off-classing, they are into the semi-final, and the loser of this match will play them in the semi-final. But all important, the winner goes straight to grands, so they get a week's break. They also get a better picking/ban preference for grand finals, so both of these teams will certainly be wanting to take it all here. But Any thoughts from you guys? You know, upper bracket. I've heard some people say that actually losing the upper bracket sort of can give you that momentum if you end up winning the semis. You know, you don't have the week off. Sometimes it's an advantage, sometimes it's a disadvantage. Any thoughts from you two?
You know what? I think we've seen it a lot in AFL recently, wherein, you know, Brisbane won the last 2 grand finals. They went the long way, and having those extra weeks of playtime and preparation really does help in perfecting their gameplay, and I think that really will come in clutch here. You know, having that, again, more game time's always better, right? So, we'll see. I don't know. I think it's good to see that Terrible Tactics still is playing together. I'm sure the team's an amalgamation of other players, but I remember playing with them, against them, a number of seasons ago, and still seeing that name brings me great joy in some capacity.
Yes, and we are, I believe, probably only about 60 seconds or a little bit over away from getting this action to you guys. Again, this is upper bracket finals for intermediate third highest division in ozfortress 4 season 44. We are very close to actually getting some Team Fortress 2 action. You only have to wait an hour and 15 minutes, I suppose, and wait for, what was that, 19 mercs to get denied. So all said and done, we're actually getting some action for you, and it really should be a close game. I mean, these two teams are sort of a tier above the rest of the inter teams. They traded maps in the regular season as well, so Break Gaming, I believe, took Koth a bit more convincingly, but Pipe City won the 5CP map for that week. It was a lot closer on 5CP than it was on Koth, so we'll see, with 2 Koth maps being played tonight, if maybe that's all Break Gaming needs. As you say, sort of the soldiers can jump around a lot on product here, but we're going live, guys. I can't believe it. This is some tier 2 action.
So excited. I'm on the sway cam right now.
Absolutely. As we go to our first mid here, Funk, otherwise known as Snow, getting a good roll out there, trying to get an early sticky off into main, but can't really get much value out of it. Still just throwing stickies and spam at each other, both of these teams, sort of feeling each other out in this first map here of the best of 3. Again, no sort of clear, direct movement. Here we go. Archie is going to fade bomb, but does get caught. That's just some stickies and value there. It's going to pick him up. Some nice shot from Maddie. Industrial Soap actually is going to get a counter shot on him and clean him up. Land on the pack, and he wants more. He's skip jumping in onto the medic there. JV is going to surf out. 98 damage is not enough to pick him up, but the space made for his team is massive. Not much cap time though for the blue team, as the red team is able to retake that ground with both of their scouts still up. Pete is going to have to run away in Valley, and that is the first mid cap for Break Gaming.
Bunk played that mid really well. He positioned himself and his stickies effectively to kind of deny Sway space to, you know, play forward. As you see, Uber's trading on point now. Nothing really gained beyond the fadeaway bomb from Archie landing on stickies and probably almost dying to Maddie's spam rockets. As Ubers are even here.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dante?
They tried to go for a trade, and try was a really imperatively positive word, because a scout got dropped and then a soldier fed. So I think that was a bit of a miscomm there. Maybe they rushed it a bit because they kind of lost the point for free. They did lose some picks for it, but I still think it was pretty playable. But yeah, I think there's just a bit of upper bracket nerves coming in here, because they did lose a scout completely unnecessarily. We're getting a flank scout running through. He does trade for Zando, so might be a bit of space here. Beautiful surf out from this medic, and Matty does go down in return for the demo man. But it still looks pretty even Steven in terms of the players. We're down 2 soldiers on the red team, but they just seem to be exchanging a bit of damage here and there, and they still have the point. So there's no rush.
Yeah, Ubers are just coming up now, and then it's actually going to be used for the side of Break Gaming. They know they have a little bit of ad. Peeper's just trying to get the Uber, will get it eventually, but actually doesn't have to use it. So the Uber going disastrously for the red team. They lose their combo scout, they lose their medic, and they're about to lose their demo man as well in Valley. 3k for Fluoro there, perfect Uber for Pipe City as they're just cleaning everyone up. Juna does win the flank scout diff and is trying to get more as he gets onto the medic. He will fall, she will fall, does, he will fall, does JV, I believe. I don't know. The medic's dead, is the point. Pipe City will basically clean everyone up. They're going to delay for their own medic, but will cap the point for the first time here. But the important point is, with that all being said and done, Break Gaming did have the point for the entire time, so they have full 2-minute advantage on the clock. Looks like it's going to be a tall order for Pipe Pipe City to hold this almost for 3 minutes straight.
That's always the problem with CoF, I found, you know, especially if you're thinking about capping point when your medic's still spawning. Having to wait and potentially losing precious time makes it really difficult to come back. As we see Archie fall on the flank to Xando. I think what you were talking about earlier, Corb, with the counter aggression, the playstyle of the soldiers is really coming to effect here. Ubers are officially even, more or less. Not quite. As the comes out.
The Uber getting taken again for Bread Gaming. It's almost the exact same scenario, but this time they get it off successfully. They do find Peep. That was what they were looking for. It was a mid-kill Uber for sure. And they did add a nice rocket from Xando. Picks up Industrial Soap on the rock there. As we see, surely this is going to initiate some sort of sack for the blue team, some sort of salvage play. But JV is so neatly tucked away in the pocket there, surrounded by both the scouts, is easily going to be staying alive to that Archie bomb. And now it is 20 ad for the red team. And it looks like this might be all they need. 40 seconds on the clock here. Pipe City will have to get something with their next Uber.
I really love pushing on 10% ad. That's such a smart way to play CoF, you know, using every little advantage you have just to, you know, keep the enemy gamers playing well from behind.
Yeah, as the double bomb comes out from Brig Gaming, in that mayhem, they do find Peep, once again, the all-important pick, so that's going to absolutely eradicate any sort of Uber for the blue team here, and they're on the point, and Sexy Turtle is trying to deny, but does get dropped. So Junior is going to have to sub in here. Will find Fluoro. They will also find Sway. Industrial Soap trying to get out. Does on 4 HP. Archie's on 1 as well. So fine margins here as the blue team try to reheal and try to refight this. Ranger is going to fall by himself there, so that's not going to help them. They are 4 up. They will get the cap in the midst of all of it, so they do have some time here, but no demo is going to be very hard for them as they are just going to have to back out here. Give the point up, but there's only 5 seconds left, so they will have to push this. They will have to touch the point. There's only 4 of them alive, one of them still rolling out, and Maddie is just cleaning up, gets the mid and gets a scout, and that's the first round. You'd have to say pretty convincingly for Brig Gaming.
That was
it was pretty clinical. Yeah, Jinx.
Great minds think alike.
Words straight out of my mouth there. Moonhexer Seinfeld. One thing I am noticing, which is a bit of an issue, is that Pipe City are really overzealous of just losing players for free. Like a soldier's dying, a scout's dying. Like, you can't be having that in the upper bracket game, and it makes it really hard to take the next situation. Bread Gaming are definitely playing most situations, I'd say more so together, like playing with the spawn together, playing with the deaths together. Speaking of deaths, we are getting a soldier death from Bread Gaming, which is probably not what you want to see, but let's just see if Pipe City can equalize this with their own bomb. And Archie does go down, so even players here so far. Decent point time, more importantly decent space. Great damage on Funk over here, but it looks like Pipe City are going to take this point relatively uncontested.
Yeah, and perhaps that was the pace change that they needed, winning the second mid of this match here. Ranger is going to fall on the flank, so that's not good for them, and it looks like they're just going to have to give this up. Back out. Ubers are coming into play now, and Fluoro does want to take it, is not going to be able to deny with it, but is going to be able to get onto the medic or the combo scout, or is he? Beefs a few shots, still beefs, and they still haven't used Have Breed Gaming. Fluoro's going to fall very quickly. Great shots from Sexy Turtle, and now this is what Breed Gaming was playing for. Now they have full ad and the point. You'd almost have to say this is a full minute going to be taken off the clock here, as Pipe City, it looks like they're going to have to just go for a 4-man here. I
get the idea behind that push, but it was such a, you know, low percentage play that wasting your Uber for that, as well as your positioning, as we see the sack wave come out, is just not worth it. Uber was forced, so that's, you know, good, but they're still going to lose, as you said, like a minute plus of time on the point before they're able to refight.
Yeah, as we saw the sack wave coming in for Pipe City, they did get what they came for, which was the Uber used for JV there. So Pete now will have 80% on her minigun. They will have advantage. Let's see how they want to play it. Juna is ratting above main, and I don't think they know just yet. Will they check it? Actually, Juna just backs off. So we'll see how Pipe City choose to re-push this. They're sort of edging their way forward. Not sure if they want to use. They do use again, and Fluoro is a little bit behind. The demo comes in, does sway. They are going to find Funk, but the rest of the combo has diverted a different way out. Maddie is causing carnage here on the cliffside, and will find Peep, so ending a little bit too deep there, and the health for the blue team is so low here. They will not even get the point capped in the midst of all this. They're sort of just like trickle feeding now, and the only one alive that's forward is Industrial Soap. They know that he's there, and he's just going to have to bomb out, and only now will they cap the point. So 1.5 minutes straight for Brig Gaming. That's even better than what they were hoping for.
The way that Juna and their team are playing this counter Uber situation is really well, excellent. I think just because, you know, they're taking up so much time on the Uber and they just don't have any resources to, you know, play post. While, you know, Juna and Maddie especially are, you know, playing high ground, playing in awkward positions. So it's really hard to force them out exceptionally well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The ball is certainly in Brit Gaming's court here, looking so convincing on Koth. They did take this, I believe, 3-0 in the regular season on a different Koth map, or maybe it was Product again, but they have Uber Ed, and they're just going to use it again. The same Uber going through main into Valley. They won't find Peep this time, but they will find the Dimmerman, so another really high-value pick for the red team. They're just ticked under a minute on the clock here. Yes, they do have Uber Desad, but a very convincing position here, as the blue team, you would have to imagine, just have to wait for the Dimmerman to respawn, or will they, as Peep drops? A really great bomb from Maddie up top, and I think it was a sticky trap, I'm not sure, from Funk, is going to get the mid drop for Pipe City. A disastrous push. They will find JV, but that's it. They do not get any point presence, any cap time, and they're just going to get some late picks here as well. Ranger is going to find Maddie, but will fall himself. So we'll see, but it's not looking good for Pipe City.
I saw. So they essentially do the damage more or less at the same time. Like, you'd have to have, like, you know, 0.01 reaction second time to hit that charge there.
Yeah, very hard to, well, as you say, impossible to get that on that reaction time. Unfortunate circumstance for Pipe City, but they're trying to refight this because they have to. It is overtime now for Brit Gaming, but they're going to have to back off there. Funk dying early means they can't really control the space, can't really stop the enemy Dimmerman from coming in and getting all of that space for his team. But Pipe City now do have the point. They've got to hold this for 2 minutes straight. It will be around about even Ubers as we see Funk getting a nice pipe or a nice sticky onto Industrial Soap on Cliff there. So it should make it easier for his team as they're pushing up 6v5. Fluoro is trying to take an early trade again. They do use a lot earlier. JV, the force comes out this time, is going to have to flash once as there's some carnage happening in the backlines. Maddie is going to find someone, but Fluoro also finds the other soldier, Zando. There's a lot of cap time, a lot of point presence, and Fluoro's just going to get mulched by the two scouts there, and that's another round for Brit Gaming. Thoughts, guys?
Clinical once again.
Yep, I was speechless after that. Well, Brit Gaming, they're just playing more coordinated, but I will say it is hard to have a look at an even situation because Pipe City are just throwing their players away for nothing. Neutral situations like soldiers dying. The Ubers are just so forced, but they're hard to take without players. We do lose a scout early on. Again, the players just dying for free. And more players dying for free. It just doesn't seem like Pipe City are able to capitalize on any damage in any space. Yeah, I'm just not sure what to say. Perhaps they're getting a little bit tilted, a little bit razzled now as the game starts to look like the curtains are calling. And they did lose their medic through all that, and now they have brought out a sniper, but I usually find that when there's sniper in low division, and their demo does die to a trap, they're trying to bust through Cliff, but it's looking really hard for Pipe City. They've lost a lot of momentum already into the round. It's going to be tough for them to bring this back, I think.
Yeah, so we saw some really nice shots from the Brit Gaming soldiers there. Nice air shot from Xando, picks up Peep, and then a nice direct from Maddie, picks up, I believe that was Soap. The sniper has come out though for Archie, is going to pick up Sexy Turtle and announce himself to the server. As we see the counter aggression coming in from Xando, is immediately going to get that sniper. Really, really hits at play. The amount of pressure that it alleviates for his team is so massive. Maddie on 1 HP gets the flick onto Peep. Really, really massive plays coming out for the red soldiers here. They are going to get forced, but surely they can get a few picks here. Sway is so low, and Ranger is behind now as well, but they do know about it. So they're going to try and win a 2v1 here on Cliff. Don't even need the second. Xando just absolutely destroys them on Cliff. And as you say, it's so convincing for Brit Gaming. A minute off the clock, 2 minutes to go, but the ball is certainly in their court as Pipe City just going to have to wait for their spawners before even thinking about any sort of push here.
I agree. I think the thing I've noticed most is the flank of Brit Gaming are just significantly better at taking that aggression and that aggressive positioning, as we do see Industrial Soap jump onto Day Up, unsuccessfully though.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a triple sack coming out. I don't know if that was intentional or just sort of happenstance, but all three of them are going to fall. Sway is getting bounced around in Valley, and will also fall himself. Does pick up Maddie, but that is favorable once again to the red team. A soldier for a demo, you'll take that sort of any day, I would imagine. So Uber's coming up now for Pipe City. We'll see if Fluro decides to take another trade across point here, but it's looking really good for Brig Gaming here. Already ticked down to a minute now. The trade comes out. Fluro is going to use and is going to have to use early. JV does respond with his own Uber, but once again, it's a solo, and Peep is flashed once. They're going so deep with this as Xander picks up Archie on the flank, but they're coming back to the point now. Brig Gaming consolidating. Very clinical play as the soldier jumps behind Industrial Soap. They don't see him, does JV, but he will fall. Maddie's going to get picked off from Sway here, and they're trying to go for something. Sway is bombing in, does get a couple stickies onto the scouts, but Xando in the backlines, absolute nuke in main, is going to find what he came for, the demo and the medic. Now, the counter-sack salvage play is coming out for the blue team. They do have some point time, but they're just sort of so scrambled, it looks like. Archie's going to fall, does trade with Maddie, but the beam for Brig Gaming is going to let them sort of consolidate here in Valley, and they're inching their way forwards.
Yeah, again, positioning for the flank is much better than the name. I don't even think right now, sorry. Pipe City, yeah, like Dando and Juna are just destroying the flank, and it's not even close where we're seeing this diff from Maddie too. Again, getting in difficult positions and staying there aggressively as Sway and Industrial Soap do die.
Yeah, Ranger picks up a nice 2k there, will create some space for his team, drag a few players behind. Both of the soldiers now, a nice direct from Archie, picks up Xando. Peep's gonna fall though, 60 Turtle coming in at the death and just picking up all the frags there. Funk is gonna get a nice pipe onto Ranger, and it's just Fluro happening to be in the grass area there. Is gonna have to play something soon though. There's 15 seconds on the clock as Brig Gaming win this. This is the first map over, and it looks like very convincingly, but they do fall. Juna falls, 60 Turtle falls, so they will get the cap to sort of save themselves. Will Pipe City, 3 seconds left to overtime, but once again a Herculean task on Disad as well. So we see Industrial Soap is going to fall there on Cliff, trying to go for something but doesn't get anything. That's not going to make it easier for his team. 90% now for Brig Gaming. And the ball is certain, they can play this so many different ways. They're just inching their way forward. Will they use? They might not have to, but they are going to. Into the combo does go 60 Turtle. He's trying to find all that he can get in Valley. The Maddie is going to come up with some nice rockets, but they don't find anyone just yet. Maddie falls, so they do finally get the Sway pick, but JV's going to fall. Now Peep falls, but that's all that they needed. Just the cap time, and with that convincing start to the round, they're just able to stand on the point, kill everyone that comes to them. And that's the first map over. So convincing for Brig Gaming, you have to say.
That was
pretty brutal.
Brutal. Everyone on Brig Gaming's team had above 300 DPM except for their medic, who had 0, which I think that says a lot, frankly.
Yeah. Dante, Moon, any thoughts, reactions to that first map?
For me, what I noticed a lot for Pipe City, their scouts super kill hungry, like the soldiers on Bread Gaming. Not to take away credit from them, they were getting a lot of free business on Heap. It feels like the Bread Gaming soldiers were just able to go so uncontested. There were a lot of drops, like a lot of just free airspace. I don't think we can see the logs just yet, but it feels like the scouts, oh there we go, there's the logs. Like scouts just seemed a bit too kill hungry, a bit too prone to dropping their position and just chasing kills on Pipe City, which I think led their team to suffer a fair bit. Not just to rag on their scouts though, like the big thing with Pipe City, like as I said before, they were just giving away players for free. They were going for like sacks, going for like bombs, jumps, like frags. There wasn't really anything like kind of coordinated from what I could see. The limited success that I could see them having was things getting messy, but it really did feel like Bread Gaming were in the driver's seat, and for good reason the entire time. Every time they lost players, usually there was some value gained from that. One thing I saw Bread Gaming do, which I thought was really, really good, was they lost, I think, 2 or 3 players and they just immediately left. They didn't even bother to stay on Cliff. You could see that Pipe City, even after losing players, they'd overstayed their welcome and were accordingly punished for it. So, yeah, pretty convincing from Bread Gaming.
Couldn't agree more. Point Corb made right at the start was noting that Xando and Funk were extremely difficult to play against, and I think that was extremely true for that round. consistently in aggressive, difficult positions to play against, playing on high ground, playing wherever they needed to, and Pipe City just didn't have the opportunity to play against them. Matty died a lot, but whenever he died, he was almost guaranteed to have value for that frag, oftentimes picking up Sway or Peep, and playing off that on product makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, 100% here. As we just sort of look at the logs, I think that point exactly is sort of reflected in the logs. Xando and Matty, top damage for their teams, two of the highest frags as well. And I think for the entire match, their coordination was better, their shots they were hitting were better, and sort of their timing was better as well. It seemed a lot more fragmented on the side of Pipe City when they were going for players with their soldiers, harder for the rest of the team to follow up, but it just so easily fell together for Breed Gaming. And the Spoils of War, top 2 damage for the soldiers on Breed Gaming. Is there anything else that stands out to you guys looking at these logs?
Trades, or lack thereof. Pipe City trades were pretty atrocious. I wouldn't put the blame just on the Combat Scout or the Medic for that, though. Losing players before the trade happens makes the post just completely unplayable. So I'm not sure if that was a team thing, if they were called. To me, they looked rather forced, for lack of a better word, and pun unintended. A lot of trades were kind of just popped willy-nilly, and you were just kind of hoping, but hope isn't really a good strategy in video games or war video games. So that's what it looked like to me. I was just complete clinical outclass from Bread Gaming. What can you say?
Yeah, simple as that. What I also noticed a lot was Ranger kept on being very out of position, and that's detrimental on flank scout on product. Essentially, you want to play 2 combo scouts, and always missing one makes it really difficult to trade positively, especially against a team with good DM. So that was extremely limiting in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, 100%. So we go to the second map here. So in the regular season, Breed Gaming did take, I think it was product again, 3-0 again, very convincingly. But in that same week, in that same match, they did play Process, and that was a 3-2 victory for Pipe City. So maybe Koth, not their strongest suit. I think they did finish second, so that's why we see 2 Koth maps in the grand finals, or sorry, in the upper bracket final, because the Breed Gaming would have had the better picks and the better bans, so they can afford to choose 2 Koth maps. Certainly big pace change. Gullywash, our second map. Is there anything you guys are sort of thinking about? Product, again, the action is very back and forth, but Gullywash, as we saw last night, can get very stalematey very quickly. So what are you thinking now for Pipe City maybe to come back in this match?
I don't know.
5-0 Bread Gaming.
A jumper main on this map can cause lots of trouble. You can get to mid so fast if you know the right rollout, and I'm expecting Matty to be well versed in that, given his performance in our previous maps. So, kind of expecting a bit of a steamroll, but I'm happy to be incorrect.
Yeah, I can't blame you. It just looks so convincing for Breed Gaming. Everything was going their way. The soldiers, can get away with so much as well. They were causing havoc in the backlines, bombing for. It just felt so easy for them, picking up the mid kill or the demo kill almost every time. Do have one team readied up here, so we should get some action your way very shortly. But yeah, anything you guys might be thinking that maybe Pipe City might have to change, or is it just everything that they have to change to maybe have a fighting chance in this match?
Maybe the players.
Solo scout Ubers, more Ubers with Sway in them. I noticed that a lot too, previous map. Just like, Sway was always out of position when they use, or if he was in position, he was in no position to advance, having nothing loaded.
Yeah, I agree. It does make it a bit hard because you can't really tell if it's on the demo man not being ready or calling for these Ubers to happen, or if it's the combo scout playing a bit too, whatever the word is, overzealous again. I'll just use overzealous again. Yeah, it did look like that, where it was taking a lot of these like solo scout Ubers. There wasn't a lot of value for them. Like, they can be fantastic when it's the right situation, but it seemed more like a desperation play. But perhaps like this team isn't really that good at Koth. Like, I know some teams really don't like Koth at all, and product is a bit of a tricky Koth out of the 3 in my opinion. So we might see something a bit different on Gullywash. It can slow down a bit, but I don't know, like on a fundamental level, Bread Gaming just looks so well put together compared to the enemy team, like even on product, like regardless of comfort or not. So I think we're going to see like a quick roll, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't blame you. Any predictions, let's say, going into this map, as we do see both teams ready up so quickly?
5-0.
2-1.
2-1. All right. I won't
Bread
be
Gaming.
contrarian this time unless I made true opinion. Probably a 5-0 for Bread Gaming. But let's hope that Pipe City can bring it back to get some more entertaining action here for you. This is the upper bracket final into upper bracket final season 44. Here we go. Looks like they're opting to go their side, so very aggressive choice for the blue team. And I don't know if they're getting away with it. Maddie and Xando are just doing so much damage, and it's 5 kills already. Archie's the last one alive, but Will Forbill does get the medic pick. So a nice salvage play from Archie is going to save some face for his team, but that play is just not working out. It read like a book almost by the red soldiers, absolutely nuking in elbow banana there as Maddie's trying to get a nice spawn play, but just gets a lot of damage, but no kills unfortunately. So they're all going to resup, all going to get full health there. As we see Pipe City, they're trying to make their way into second here. They have the 1 pick. They're surely going to be trying to get some sort of a win here early on in the second map. Ranger is going to feed though in second. Sexy Turtle picks him up. Easiest scout kill of his life, and that's just going to consolidate their second point for Breed Gaming.
I was rejoining.
the player.
Yeah, I think Soap
from
has dropped out, but he is back very shortly, so okay for them. But Funk is going to die so deep in last there. I'm not sure what the play is, but maybe that's the play. The scout on the point, it's pixels away from being finalized. Maddie's going to jump in and try and juggle some players off the point, but it won't find anything. So I think that was all coordinated as well. Sort of Funk dying in main there is going to distract the rest of the team, and they almost did it.
Yeah, that was actually really sick. They turned it into a medic sack at point play simultaneously, and they keep their medic out as well. I will also say that Pipe City did lose a soldier, but judging from how they play when they lose players in general, I don't think they even noticed because there wasn't a pause. So now we have a full Uber ad coming into last. I don't see a gun yet set up by Pipe City, so this could be a very quick round to see how Red Gaming convert this Uber.
Yeah, and we do have a very sneaky off-class Juna on the spy, but the Uber ad is going to be used now. Funk is bombing onto top right. They don't find it much, though. Sway's going to fall. That is a very important pick, and there we see why Sexy Turtle, no stickies on the point, is just so easily going to be able to cap that. First one for Breed Gaming.
That was, again, clinical. Matty is a menace this map, I reckon. He's going to do even better than I expected.
Yeah, as we come to the second mid here, Pipe City are going to have to change something, you'd imagine. Looks like they're going their side with Sway rolling out to the pack. Does try and get a sticky off, will find a 32 on the medic, but that's all that he gets. The soldiers are high for Breed Gaming. They're bombing onto the enemy, but they're not going to find anything. Really, really complete inverse almost. Peeper's running away with a tail between your legs, but will get out. And that's really, really good for Pipe City. Almost a complete inverse of the previous mid.
Yeah, Archie baited drop down perfectly to the point where they forgot about him. Maybe they didn't see him. But that's the kind of stuff I'm happy to see this map, so it's not, you know, a steamroll.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Pipe City. They're going to have their first sort of advantage here on Gully Wash. Let's see how they want to use it. They're gearing up to go maybe Shutter, looks like, or they still have enough time to rotate to River, which is what they're going to do. Full Uber ad for them, only 35 up for JV, so they're not going to get anything here. The Turtle off-classes have come out, the Pyro and the Sentry, and the Pyro's doing a good job of reflecting. The projectiles will waste a bit of that Uber. Fluro's going to pick up Xano onto the point as Maddie falls to the crossbow of Peep. Good cap time as well coming out from Archie, and there's only 3 alive for the red team here. They have all the time in the world, do Pipe City, to sort of re-heal here, and Industrial Soap is going to pick up the medic, and it's only the demo above the point is going to get air shot, and a really good comeback for Pipe City.
Archie's had a awkward game last one, playing much better already. I think that's a good good for his confidence, I suppose. You know, no one likes to have 2 bad games in a row, or 2 bad maps in a row.
Yeah, as we come up to the third mid here, really nice reply from Pipe City. Let's see if they can do it again. Looks like both teams rolling out to their own side. Ranger is getting a bit optimistic here, trying to get some shots after the demo, but will get away with it. Xando's fighting another soldier in drop down. That's Archie, but he will run away with 71 HP on the low ground. Now both teams sort of trading back and forth. Sway's going to pick up his counterpart, the demo. Xando is high, but doesn't get much with it. Archie falls, Maddie falls, and Soap falls, and now it's a 4v3 in the favor of the red team here. Sexy Turtle is just going to have to run away and reconvene with his medic, and another mid win for Pipe City.
That was really good. The thing I like about
Oh my god, Zando! Zando 5 HP and drop down just decides to kill himself instead of going for anything.
probably for the best. The thing I like about Gully Wash is that extended mids go either way. This is excellent TF2 from my perspective.
Yeah, and Breed Gaming, they did get the medic out, so they do have the license to sort of contest here. There are some traps, but they're going to use anyway. The Uber coming out for the blue team is so much better here. Both teams taking a solo, but Fluoro, you'd have to imagine, is going to be chasing this. He's stalking his prey in main here, but he does beef. No, he doesn't. JV gets the kill eventually. Now, 60 Turtle, can he avenge his medic? He will not be able to. He falls himself. So a nice two-piece for the blue scouts there. And you'd have to imagine with the second one cap, they might be looking to push this, or are they? Peeper's low. They're sort of just sitting in second here. Don't know if they want to take this with both scouts down. Maybe they'll just take the advantage instead, it looks like.
I reckon nothing can be taken for granted. I think they should take this advantage as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they've sort of allowed the enemy team to get some off classes up. The level 2 sentry on the right with the sniper peeking into main. You'd have to imagine the sentry gets to level 3 before the blue team is able to use, so they might be making some more work for themselves. The NG picks up the gun, just sort of replacing it below the stairs there. But it is Uber ad for Pipe City. They'll be looking to take the first lead in the second map, in the series even, on Gully Wash. This is the second map of the upper bracket finals. The Uber's coming in from River, and they're going to get the gun instantly. Really good for them. Fluoro is going to try and get some cap time as well. Gets knocked away from Zando. Swayso is going to post top right with his medic, but they do not get the kill on that soldier. Now, the enemy team, for Breed Gaming, comes out of the right spawn with the pyro. Peep's going to fall as well to some rockets from Zando. Industrial Soap trying to get any sort of salvage here. There's only 3 alive, 2 alive now with Sway falling to the pyro. They do know that Soap is around. Soap's going to bomb out through balcony, and it's just a scout in secret, and surely he's going to fall. Yes, he does.
That was, yeah, Gully Wash last is hard to push. Pyro makes it really difficult, and we saw that when Archie got kind of smoked with the reflect. We do see the spy on Fluoro, but he's too slow to do anything with it, as both soldiers remain on last, expecting something silly like that. There's 70% ad down to 60, probably down to 50 soon, going to almost waste as Zando does get backstabbed.
Yeah, Fluoro just opting to go for the soldier there. I think he did eat some spam or some stickies in Baby Door, so they did know the spy was around. Maybe opts to not go for the medic there, as there's some action going on in the mid-fight. However, the Uber was used for Breed Gaming. They do find Industrial Soap with it, and they're now just sort of coming back into mid, but there's a back cap going on. The spy and the soldier back cap. Maddie's not going to be able to fight it on 11 HP, but they will clean up. They will, Sexy Turtle and the combo for Breed Gaming come back to clean up both of the players backcapping, and now they are trying to get back into the mid here, but there's an Uber up for Pipe City, and surely they know it. Ranger is a bit disconnected from his medic though, and everything gets dropped, including the Uber. A disaster for Pipe City. They had the opportunity there to take it into them, but everything gets dropped.
Oh man, like drop down just wasn't watched. Like again, overzealous scouts just running forward, deer in headlights, and that made like that life so easy for the soldier to just like slip through drop down and completely ruin that entire play and possibly even give them the entire round. So
yeah, as you say, Dante, this could be a round winner. 85% for Breed Gaming, and it looks like they're going to go River with this. They have been pushing very successfully into last when they've had the opportunity. Only thing to watch out for really is the gun in the cubby and the heavy who's trying to get the crit buff out, and the 60 Turtle is going to occupy himself with that heavy. Pyros come out from Archie though as well, so the soldier off-classing is going to disrupt the Uber a little bit. Sway does fall, so no stickies on the point. The heavy's dead as well, and Funk is just cleaning up. He's got the bottle out though, and won't be able to finish it off. JV, it's all up to him. Does get a nice melees onto Fluoro, but won't get the kill in the end. 22 HP for Fluoro is 22 more than he needs, and he saves the round for his team there.
Well salvaged there by Fluoro, especially choosing not to die and play passively from his respawn. Good stuff. Again, I like Gully Wash, it's a fun map.
yeah, Zeno nearly actually won them that entire push. He did manage to get to water and deal with the demo. That can usually be very hard to deal with when you're pushing when the demo has it completely trapped. But we do see Zeno managing getting a kill in the demo and potentially the scout. No, looks like we're just going to trade for that, but again, Zando putting in the work in this map, nearly winning them the push, and we are seeing them take this Uber behind. Looks like they're going to go for a wraparound play. They did manage to catch the demo with this. And Funk does go down. We do have an Uber potentially coming in for the enemy choke. Are they aware of it? Looks like it. Kiting this Uber now. And they are just going to get out.
Yeah, and they've done like a full lap around big door there, has peeped. The Uber does get used now, and they're trying to get a second scout into it. Will get the flash onto Ranger, and they're trying to clear up these players. The Boston Badger comes out, but he doesn't get it. No, he does. JV bleeds to death eventually, but they're so caught in. Peep and both the scouts of Pipe City do fall in the carnage of the aftermath.
Oh my goodness, how does Sway die there? That's crazy. All for naught, both soldiers sitting there and on last doing nothing.
Yeah, really convincing for Bread Gaming. The medics will spawn together, so it will be evens. I think all those spawners for Pipe City are going to dissuade any sort of last push. It's just Juna collecting some packs in lobby, but we will see what looks like an evens on last. Pipe City, that push going disastrously for them. Not going to be able to get anything with Uber. I guess they get the medic, but they all die for it, so sort of cancels each other out as we're just setting up for a last hold here for Pipe City.
Benefits of having it be even is that you can just turtle as long as you want to. Again, I know nowadays rounds are shorter than, you know, the full 10 minutes, but any time off the clock helps you significantly, as the gun does go down and Matty does sack, but it's going to be for naught because the gun will be built straight back up. Yeah, our mates.
Great find for Archie, picking up Matty while the gun was dead. Sorry, you go, Dante.
Oh, I was just going to say, we're going to get our first proper style mount here. I'll be keen to see how Bread Gaming will do this. I know Funk and JV are a bit of a sweaty gamers. Maybe we'll see some water plays coming out, or we'll just see the classic double spam the gun and then go for a sack. But Archie is pretty locked in on this. He is playing the ring, which is good to see. That should deal with any water pressure potentially coming. But yeah, it just looks like Bread Gaming are just seeing how they're going to take their pick. Now, we do have a sniper. I think believe he's peeking through main.
Yeah, sneaky angle here through main, trying to get into top right, but he will fall to Sway Stickies as Industrial Soap is getting some really good spam onto Xando, picks up him as well. So 2 picks for Pipe City. We'll see if they choose to take it. Is this enough of an advantage in an upper bracket finals? Locked at 1-1. No, they're just going to go for a counter sack. Industrial Soap will fall. Sway is really deep in River here, is trapping off Funk, but will die himself. A really great arrow from JV saves the Dimmerman's life, and now surely with the Dimmer pick, they're going to be taking this in. They come through River here. They don't need to use no traps, of course, and the Uber has to come out first for Pipe City. Now the Uber from JV comes out, really good pipes onto the heavy there, is going to pick him up as they post in River here. The spawners have come out for Pipe City, so they might be able to hold it, but some really good cap time from Matty it was. I believe that was with the pain train as well. Just walking from, you'd have to say water was that, to finish off the round.
Came late from water, and that's why you use the brain train on this map. You can always get so much. Especially on Soldier, because, you know, you can play as fast as you feel like you need to.
Yeah, that last hold slipping away from Pipe City as they fall again into a losing position. Down 2-1 here. We'll see if they want to change anything on the mids. Both soldiers for the red team sort of just doing a fade bomb. Now Matty comes in, but will go very low, down to 1 HP as Xando picks up Archie, Ranger picks up Juna, and it's a bit of carnage in the blue choke here. Sway is going to get out with his medic. There's only Ranger stuck behind, and I don't know if Bread Gaming are even going to concern themselves with the scout behind. They're just opting to go big doors. Xando's already made his way through onto second, claiming all that space for his team, and the combo is through, and Ranger is still behind, I think.
JV, Dayap, whatever they want to go by, they got down very low from Archie's play through drop down. Again, second time he's done it, second time it's almost been effective. I wonder if they're going to start changing the way they play mids, because I can't keep on letting Archie get away with playing drop down like that. As he gets a very, very, very funny kill on Matty there. Had no right to live on that low health.
Yeah, as we've been talking, Ranger has gotten 2. He's going for a third on Xando here, onto second, but will die. So that's now 2 down for Pipe City. They're sort of gearing to go maybe from River again, and you can't blame them. They've had so much success with this River pop through, and here it comes. Funk is going to get bounced around a bit though. The Uber comes back from the blue team, and it's certainly going to be longer for Pipe City here. Posters now. JV's on the low ground, is going to find his way to top right and reconnect with the scout. A bit of a loop-de-loop there as Archie is going to try and save the point. Some nice rockets, but he will fall so much cap time, and there it is, a third round for Brid Gaming. These last pushes are so well executed from them.
Brid Gaming is really using their player ad well. Like, they did pop in to get that space to the Uber, and then Funk immediately started to trap off left side. The post was a little bit messy, but they had enough players to facilitate that, and then once it started to get really chaotic, they just started to like, send pressure to the point, and Pipe City didn't have enough players to accommodate that defense, so that was really well played from them.
The positioning press sheet was also, I think, poor, as we do see a double bomb from Maddie and Xando, getting Soap and Peep clinically with Sway, getting finished off. That was such a effective bomb. Well done to him.
Yeah, almost a repeat of the first mid where Pipe City choose to go on the enemy team side, but the double bomb just instantly from Brid Gaming picks up 2. But they have extended quite a bit. Sexy Turtle and Maddie both getting picked up. Ranger again getting his one. But it will be 60% advantage for Brid Gaming. They're looking to go through choke now, see if there's any resistance on second. I don't think there will be. It's just Soap and Shutter sort of throwing some rockets their way, but they will pick up second, and they're gearing up again for another Uber ad last push here.
Oh, Archie gets funked. What?
Archie behind picks up the demo, so that's a really good play from them. I don't know if they're still going to take this Brid Gaming. Fluoro is trying to get something in lobby on Sniper, but they... Whoa, do they have time to wait for the demo there? It's already 50% up for Pipe City.
You can come post, I suppose, right? Like...
Yeah, maybe that's the idea, as they have taken the Uber through. They are going to find the engineer. See, that's really bad dying on the Engie there for Ranger, but they just sort of post on the point and all get mulched from Sway and Archie. Funk coming into the post, as you say, is going to try to get something. Maddie gets a lot of cap time. Don't know if that was the pain train, but he gets so close. Yeah, the pain train again, almost winning his round, the fourth one, giving them a commanding advantage, but they hold on, do Pipe City, and they're all able to stack on second. They will not get 5 denies, so 5 spawners in the forwards. Juna's in the forwards as well, and they're going big door. We'll see if Juna can hit a big time shot here. The P comes out, but he misses it in the forward spawn. Unfortunate for him. Peep is trapped off though, will cross. Dangerous play, but does get through with her life. They do lose both soldiers though, so they are going to have to cross again, but the sniper doesn't hit the shot. So close. Xando's going to fall, unfortunately for him, and it looks like they're going to try rotate to choke here. They have 40% Uber advantage.
Yeah, unfortunate. Sniper, good on this map. Got to be able to hit your shots though. As Danny was going to say earlier, oftentimes scouts, snipers in lower divisions really don't hit the shots they need to.
Yeah, Juna's still in the forward spawn, takes a few rockets and spam and is going to fall back, but they've given the red team so much time here to build up their own Uber advantage. Sexy Turtle's going to draw his eyes back to try pick up, I believe that was a Ranger in the backlines, but the Uber is still going on for the red team, so much better. Industrial Soap on the point is going to get a nice couple rockets onto JV, but Peep will fall. Sexy Turtle just going forward and getting the med pick there. Soap also is going to fall to Xando, and there's Fluoro stuck in, is also going to die. It's just Archie under point. Sway is running out with his life, but Archie picks up the medic. Amazing salvage play. I think that's again from Archie getting the mid kill. He's going to drag a couple back, trying to sort of play with the back cap as well. Is going to pick a pack up here and choke. Is going to fight one scout, but doesn't see the other scout behind him. Sexy Turtle picking him up. Xando's trying to go for a nice shot, still picks up Ranger, but we do see a pause.
Yes. But we'll find out soon enough. This has been a very interesting round. Archie's playing, you know, his point line won't reflect it, but he's been playing very well. I feel like, you know, he's getting into some very difficult to play against positions. He is dying quite a lot, but as Roma, that is what you need to do. You need to be able to force the enemy gamers to react to you, and he's been doing just that. You know, post-Uber, they killed JV very easily, and then escaped with his life almost, forced players back. On Gully Wash, the points cap very fast. If you're able to bait players back, you will do much better than your opponent gamers.
Yeah, I was going to say Archie, like, definitely hot off his main win. Very standout, I'd say, so far. He is, I wouldn't say single-handedly keeping his team in this game. Pipe City have had some pretty decent mids. I think when the game gets like quite messy too, Pipe City do seem pretty comfortable, but they do need to keep in mind that when stuff starts getting chaotic, Brid Gaming do opt to just send people for their medic. Maybe it's because they know that their scouts aren't privy to protecting the medic or not, or maybe it's because they're confident in it. But I think if Pipe City manage to fix that, they might be able to get some rounds back their way.
So true, so true. It's almost
Yeah.
nearing my bedtime, but
Yeah, it's been a long night, that's for sure. But the pause is done. So it's 1.5 minutes into the future. We'll see if that ends up maybe being a tactical pause or a technical pause. I'm sort of reading the tea leaves. I'm thinking it might end up being a 4th round for Brit Gaming, but we will certainly see in the next 90 seconds. 3 down for the side of Pipe City. They are just going to back away to last. It will be a last hold for them. They have kept the 2nd point, have Brit Gaming, just a bit of a HUD lag happening there. But I think it's even Ubers for both teams. Again, I can't really see on my HUD. Yes, it's 20% advantage for Pipe City. So they're able to just contently hold, setting up the NG, setting up another last hold. They have been doing decently well with these last holds. They have certainly saved, a couple rounds from the death to keep themselves in this match. They are down 3-1. They will have to win this map to stay in with a chance of making grand finals. The loser will go to semi-finals against Terrible Tactics next week. So both of these teams certainly trying to win, trying to get themselves a better map pick ban advantage. But the Uber's just going to get ripped from the red team. Funk goes so deep, launch from the sentry gun. At the same time, a lot of point presence from Maddie, but Maddie will fall to Industrial Soap. Funk is also going to die, so really, really massive pick and JV falls. So this Uber that was just ripped so immediately just falls apart for Brit Gaming. They're combined, 8 HP now, just on Xando is the only one alive on their team. He's going to fall in water to the heavy. Again, a really good last hold from Pipe City.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
whenever you pause and you were healing someone's medic, you got your full Uber charge because the Ubers kept on going through it. I'm glad they fixed that, but the pause was because of lag on the side of Juna, per gamers in the chat.
As Maddie is just doing his best to protect his medic. JV is so low on the high ground here. Ranger is going to find the pick onto the isolated demo, trying to get the medic behind Rock. Industrial Soap might have to come and clean him up. He does. JV falls. Really, really great pick for the blue team here as they now have 100% Uber advantage, and they're just cleaning up. All members on their team staying alive. Fluoro is going to spawn and will come into the backlines, but Ranger is taking it. We do have Xando hiding an elbow. He will find Archie. So really great play from him. He's going to turn some eyes backwards, but they will inevitably get this cap due Pipe City, and they might be able to take this all the way to last here.
Maddie is on sniper in forward spawn, but they are coming the other way and no one has commed that to him just yet.
Yeah, Maddie, perhaps looking at choke, won't find anything. Luckily doesn't die in the forward spawn as Xando gets picked up in the backlines, but it's still 50% ad and they know it. So Fluoro, you'd have to imagine they'd be thinking we need this round to just to sort of reset the tempo, reset the pace of this match. They're looking to go lock as it looks like, but they're taking their sweet time. 80% already for JV, so they might get for post there. Sway bombs into the right spawn, gets reflashed and tries to bomb onto the left spawn here, and he does pick up Funk, so really, really great pick for him. But the Uber has gotten built for the red team, and with the Pyro and the Scout coming out, they're able to dissuade any sort of point play and save the round for their team.
That was a good hold there, as we see Industrial Soap without the escape plan failing to back up there. That's why they call it the brain train. He won with the brain, used it on this map and used it well, like we've seen Maddie do countless times already. Fluoro is on the sniper in forward flank. He has left. Maybe feeling confident. It remains to be seen as Funk, etc. all play high ground, giving Fluoro no room to really play. Xando does fall on the flank though, as Ranger tries unsuccessfully to get for the back cap, leaving safely on 14 HP, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, sadly, those are pushes that you can't really afford to beef when your round's down. They got their initial space, but they didn't really convert that space into anything meaningful. And I do think they also just playing out took too long because the Bread Gaming did get their Uber post, so which is still playable if you manage to get picks early. You can cut that Uber. A little bit tricky on Gully Watch last, but yeah, it looked like they were surprised by the fact that Bread Gaming got their Uber and their push completely collapsed. So we still see Fluoro on sniper. Let's see if he's able to possibly do something with it. Gully Watch does have those nice angles, but it's still a bit of a desperation play. However, we do have the Ubers coming out now as evens, and they're still on sniper. Nice headshot on the soldier, but let's see how they're going to take this sniper and see if they can open up some angles for him. Could be what they need.
Fluoro needs to do something here. You cannot play with fire like this. There's only 2 minutes on the map left, and I think, does Bounty Time kick in after this, or not?
It kicks in after this, yeah.
so they can stalemate, but only for so long, you know.
Yeah, the match seems to be slipping away from Pipe City as Fluro does pick up Judah though. The fully charged body shot is going to get a 50 on the soldier as well. Maybe bait him in for the rest of his team to clean up, but that soldier Xando lives with 8 HP and gets a pick onto Archie. So to neutralize the player advantage, 219 onto the Dimmerman isn't enough to kill Funk, but Fluro is getting a lot of space into Big Door here. The rest of his team there to support him, maybe trying to bait another player in, and this is what they've opted to go for. A minute 20 on the round timer. Nice shot again.
Prime simple.
Sends Judah back to the respawn queue again. Xander's going to pick up Ranger, sort of peeking aggressively into Baby Door there. But yeah, this is what they're going for. It looks like Fluro is certainly hitting his shots. As we see the rest of the team sort of just playing, I don't know, we're settling into another stalemate here. I think this is the first one we've had between second and mid. Some nice rockets from Archie, picks up Xando, and Fluro eventually does fall in Big Door there. But they have made a lot of space for his team. There's still a lot of space Big Door. Sway is peeking and prying to see what he can get. Soap is going to fall to Funk there in Choke, so really not a great play from him. And that's going to enable the red team to get aggressive here, and they know it. In Choke, they're already through. They haven't used any Ubers. There's certainly going to be a trade, and here it comes as both scouts getting soloed, but Ranger is going to go too far forward while his medic turns around, so does get disconnected, and he's just going to get isolated on a mid here. Judah is finding his way through and will surely pick up Fluro. He does, and the red team is looking really good here. So much space and so much high ground. They have all the time in the world, or do they? Soap's coming through is so high on mid, but will get picked up to an air sticky from Funk. Really great sticky from him. As the momentum is all the way in for the red team, but maybe they're being a bit too optimistic here. Sexy Turtle and Funk fall in Big Door, but for that, Maddie has bombed through Choke, I believe, and will cause enough of a distraction to get Peep and Ranger there. Xando on the high ground, trying to get Fluro behind point. He will, but runs into a rocket from Archie. So when it's all said and done, JV will run out with Maddie. They do have an Uber advantage. They will be able to repush second here with their players. And they might even be able to finish this off as we've entered into banning time.
Yeah, that trade was really good from Turtle. He went super deep, isolated both those players and like kicked them out and left the scout alone. The folly there is that I think they just overstepped a little bit, trying to chase through Big Door, overheated a bit. You know, it's getting close. Oh, we do nearly see an attempt from Archie, but yeah, we still have this ad. I don't know how big it is. Oh, it's a pretty substantial ad. They do lose a soldier though, so might put a bit of whatever the opposite of wind and sails are for Bread Gaming's push into last, but I can still see this happening. We still also don't have a gun up.
Yeah, no gun for the blue team. This could be it. Bread Gaming just need one successful push here and the match is over. They've made their way through Shutter without using. They do use now, so a lot of Uber time. They're going to unflash the scout to try and get some cap time. The stickies do get dead. Maddie is coming through from water again, but everyone just dies. Another great play, another great hold for Pipe City, and they can't get Peep there. I think that was Xando coming in at the last second at the death to try and get the medic, but Peep will hold the Uber, and now they might be able to coast this full Uber out for Pipe City.
Ranger and Sway playing super secret. That was a huge brain play because the heavy and the demo takes so much to kill. And they just couldn't do it. As we see Junior sniping in spawn.
Juna going to have to backspawn there to the soldier bomb, but they get through clean onto mid without using. The only casualty is Ranger, so Red Gaming still having to play onto the hide here. Pipe City will be looking to aggress through Big Door. They surely know it's still ad as they make their way through, trying to just force out this Red Gaming team and deal with any soldiers like that one. Xando getting what he came for, the force. Juna's trying to run out in lockers, but surely will fall. He does to Fluro, picking up 2 kills with the Uber, so still not a bad Uber, even though it maybe wasn't the optimal series of events for them. Maddie's going to fall to some spam rockets from Soap, I believe, in River. So 3 down. They do get Xando spawner, but they are trying to sort of cause some mayhem here. There's a soldier in water. I believe that's Soap. Archie is also just behind him, and the demo bombs in Sway, but gets absolutely denied by Sexy Turtle. The Uber comes out now. They're distracted. They don't know whether to go for the medic or play the players on point, but somehow they get they get the players on point. Pete does get out with Fluro, and they are going to be able to build up some Uber advantage here, 70%.
Failed push, but it's not all that bad. Just like, again, 70% Uber ad is significant enough that they can easily muscle into second aggressively and try and use that ad there. as Juno will get caught most likely by Fleur.
Yeah, and the Uber does get used eventually to try and save some players. Sway down very low, will bomb into River with the Uber, but the rest of the team, Breed Gaming, have kited their way perfectly out. I think only able to get one kill was Zando. Archie picking him up, but they don't have Uber, do Breed Gaming. I'm not sure if Pipe City know that they might be able to push this with the player ad, but they're taking their time. They're now peeking through River, but it's too late. The Uber's come out for Breed Gaming, the spawners have come up, and a 300 health heavy has also come out to sort of dissuade any sort of push for Pipe City here.
It's a tough one. I feel like we may be here for a while. Again, as fast as Gollywash can be played similarly, it can be a drag. You know, committing resources to engineers, pyros, etc. is the name of the game, as Ubers are even now. Expect to see some sacks very soon, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Pipe City could have actually pushed that last bit with player ad. They were rushing the last two situations, but you could also see Bread Gaming getting a little bit sloppy with their execution, starting to get a bit late. Like, I know hesitation kills, but overzealousness also kills. That last bit, even though that it was massive Uber to add that, I think they had enough players to facilitate that. So fair enough that they're taking their time, but especially when the mids have been so back and forth, like, it can get a little bit tricky. We do see a sack attempt, I think, and Archie does drop to it. I don't think the gun has been spotted just yet. That spot, we nearly actually get the point completely capped by Ranger there, so need a soldier on the rim, and we do lose the medic.
Peep drops again. Wow, Maddie
Picks up Peep and Fluoro. He's still alive. Maddie is just having a field day. I think that was in River, and he's getting the back cap as well. Well, not really, because the rest of the blue team has just fallen, so not much of a back cap. There's just Industrial Soap alive in Shutter, trying to get some rockets onto Funk, but he will get cleaned up by Sexy Turtle, and that's the end of it. Peep just dropping in River there. So you see the Archie's trying to get a salvage play, trying to equalize something, but this is looking really commanding for Breed Gaming. Full Uber ad for them. They're able to cap the midpoint, and Peep is only respawned on 30% here. So this Uber ad might make its way all the way to last. They only need one more round and the match is over. As we say, it is in banning time. First one to 4 wins, as Funk is sort of just taking it slow, clearing any sort of traps that might be there, but this is the difference. They're taking this advantage so much quicker. Breed Gaming, they're already through Shutter. They've used, leaving their flanks out to cap. The rest of the blue team have to come out from left spawn here. They do find Maddie though. Sway is dead, so no traps on point. And the Heavy might just be the difference maker on 400 HP, is just gunning down the rest of these red players. JV does make it out on 58 HP, picks up the pack, and leaves with his scout with him into choke. But they're just not able to convert this last round, Breed Gaming.
They waited the extra like 5 minutes, like 10 seconds for it to cap. That would have been fine. They probably would have won off that. But at over aggression, which you often do see in golden cap type situations like we do have now, is, you know, the standard, I suppose. As Maddie once again drops Peep. You know, no one looking up. No one does look up in TF2 as JV goes down. Similarly to Industrial Stove.
Yeah, Peep
goodness, what a show.
I think we've reached that point of the game now where it's just silly business.
Yeah, as you say, it's certainly been a long night, especially with the high ground finals shenanigans, I guess let's call them. But they are going to cap.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah, maybe a bit more than that, you're right. So I also picked up Zando and Lockers, so that is going to be a good pick for him. But I think the blue team Pipe City are just going to hold last here. I mean, their last holds haven't been the worst, but they only need to fail one of these last holds and the match is over. Sway just sort of setting up some anti-sack traps, I think. But they're going full turtle here, just building the gun and building the Uber. And
I do wonder if it's worthwhile to, you know, do the old Heavy into last place, hit him on, you know, launch pad or shutter, make them shoot at him, waste all their, you know, bullets.
I like the Pyro whatever, it's clean.
Pyro, I mean, both work and both can, you know, make it extremely hard to play into, but it's just, you know, begs to ask the question if they are comfortable trying to do that. We do see a sack coming in soon from Maddie for point as Ubers have come out.
Yeah, and they're just deciding to use this Uber, trying to time it with some point play from Maddie, I think maybe on the pain train, but the Uber is coming out much later from Peep, but they are all falling. It's 3 down for Pipe City and 5 alive for the red team, and they're just crunching onto point, really well timed from all of them, and they only need a little bit of cap time left, but Archie and Sway Sway are holding on for dear life. There's pixels left on that cap, but Sway Sway is going to die, and that's the end of it. Breed Gaming winning Galleywash 4-1 and the series 2-0.
That was really well played by Red Gaming. Again, those situations, Golden Cap, so annoying to play into because you just can't make a mistake. Or if you make a mistake, you got to hope the enemy team is also going to crap their Dax just as you did. My main observation was once again Zando played out of his mind. Dropping 32 frags, 308 DPM, equal highest in the server with Sexy Turtle. Again, we all know that Galleywash is a soldier most of the time, and that's no exception here. Again, it's emphatic and, you know, a testament to how good both the soldiers were for that map.
Yeah, as you say, 32 kills, 308 DPM for Zando. I think Fluoro doing his best for Pipe City, but it wasn't enough. They will lose 1-4 on Galleywash here. So that is the winners, Breed Gaming, moving on to the grand finals. Pipe City will have to go into the semi-finals versus Terrible Tactics to make their way back into the grands. But a nice evening for Breed Gaming. I'm sure they'll be very happy with both of those scores there.
I'd be chuffed with it, especially again, back to Zando. He does take the most HP packs. That is the most important stat for Soldier on any map with 87. I always talk about this because it's, from my perspective, the most important thing you can do is denying resources. If you view health and ammo as resources, it's very smart to deny ammo packs, health packs, etc.
Yeah, 100%. Is there any sort of last things that you guys see looking at these logs?
Defer to Danny here.
Yeah, Zano, Matty is kind of hard to choose between who was more standout. Zano obviously has like really good stats and was putting a lot of work, but Matty had some very clutch and standout plays that I'm sure even the audience would agree with. Funk, reliable as ever, and Sexy Turtle had some pretty fantastic trades I could see. They were really much muscling out Pipe City whenever they were trying to have any chance to come back. It was getting a bit messy for both teams toward the middle, so it's good to see that Bread Gaming like locked in and finished it. The mids were neither here nor there, I think. Pipe City trying to opt for these like their side mids makes it a bit messy and hard to play for. And I think Pipe City could do a bit more better of protecting the medic, especially when things start to get a bit chaotic. But I did see some good plays coming up from Pipe City. Their behind plays were like pretty good, managed to make a lot of space, but yeah, I think if Pipe City like work on the coordination in general when going for these plays and being a bit more private to player ads and the therefore use of using those players, I think they could have like some good improvement. There's a lot of results that can be gathered from these games to like learn from them. But yeah, from Bread Gaming, I'm pretty happy getting to the grand finals. That was a pretty clean official.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. They just played so much better, and it was clear as day that they were the superior gamers on the day.
Yeah, 100%. So again, Breed Gaming season 44 into grand finalists. Pipe City, I think they were the second seed going into the season, so they would be expecting to find their way back to grand finals, but not the result they were looking for. They will have to go through the semis. I think that sort of wraps up Inter, but we do have some news on the high grand final, Moon.
Yeah, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully here lest a reprimand comes my way, but due to some back and forth discussions from the affected parties, there allegedly could be High coming back sometime in the near future. The replay of the grand final, I'm sure you're all, sitting on your seats ready to watch that this evening. But
yeah,
allegedly, we're in the process of having it be confirmed, but presume it will be sometime in the near future. And of course, the place to catch that is Corb.
Is twitch.tv/CappingTV. So the high ground finals might be happening. Looks like it's back in negotiation. They're trying to find a day where the teams can actually play, and maybe we only have to go through 18 medic mercs to find a merc for that one. But we do have a game tomorrow as well, so not sure when the high ground final is, but tomorrow we have the Prem qualifying final. Will be Smib versus Azerbaijan Technology. 8 p.m. tomorrow, Melbourne, Sydney time. That is an elimination game as well, so it's win or go home for both of those teams in Prem, the highest division in Australia. Other than that, I'll give a quick shout out to the Brawl Cup, Summer LAN, Brisbane LAN we have at CappingTV the 17th of January. If you are in Brisbane or if you want to go for Brisbane around that time, please do not hesitate to go to the Summer Brawl LAN 2026. Really great time. You can find everything you need to know at lan.cappingtv.com. But other than that, I think it's shout outs. Either of you got any shout outs tonight?
Shout out Corb, DANTE, Shigbeard, Shana, and Mitch, obviously, for organising and having this cast. It was a true blast. Shout out admins for doing their best to make sure our evening wasn't wasted. And as always, shout out TG and Yukari, best casting duo there is. Take it away, please, DANTE.
Honestly, shout out to the production team for this was a night of all nights and a game of all games. Shout out to the Inter team that were more than happy to let us cast us and make sure that my book schedule wasn't gone to waste. And honestly, shout out ozfortress. Yeah, shout out you guys for everything tonight. So yeah, that's all that I have to say about that.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to all 19 medics that were on our screen tonight. But yeah, shout out to the rest of the team. Yeah, it's been a long night. And thank you to all the viewers for sticking along with us. We will be live again tomorrow, 8 p.m. Melbourne, Sydney time. But other than that, I think that's it. Thank you all for watching. I'm glad we got a game eventually, and have a good evening, everyone.
Farewell, colleagues.